which is when you actually get prices falling. We got close to that during the last.
Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and I'm back down in my workshop with another radio from Jeff King. He loans me some radios out of his collection. He has a huge collection of old radios. This particular one is a Zenith Royal 780 Navigator. And the reason it's called a Navigator is because it has the long wave band. I guess this could be used back in the day for navigating using beacons, radio beacons. And on the top, let me zoom in a little bit here. See how close I can get. There we go. And these are little plaques I've been making, different things. I'll tell you about that at the end of the show because you may not be of any interest, but it's my 17th hobby that I have started. Oh well, okay. Anyway, at the top, I believe this is for the antenna for the long wave, because it's rotatable and it has bearing on it from 0 to 360. Don't know exactly how that would work. I'm not positive this is an antenna itself besides the one for the medium wave. It may just be for giving an indication of direction when you rotate the whole radio. So you're rotating the antenna for the medium wave. I looked down inside just briefly and I didn't see any indication that this is actually an antenna. I don't know. Nice leather case with a handle. Jeff said he spent quite a bit of time cleaning this up. He originally got this for $15, and this was vintage 1960. I'll show you inside in a minute. So let's turn this back over on its back. And well, I can't go all the way on the back because I get a reflection. So I try to hold it up here. Top band is medium wave. Bottom band is marked 15 to 40. I think that's in kilohertz. Pretty sure that's in kilohertz. What else? Oh, this dial is the volume control. Has lots of volume. This is the tuning knob. Very smooth. He had this reconditioned at Radio Atlantic, I think he said. Yeah, Radio Atlantic. There's a guy on Radio Atlantic website that reconditions these old radios, replaces capacitors and stuff that have dried out. This is the on-off button, and I believe this is the band select button right here. So that's all the buttons. There's no buttons on the side. On this side over here is a large 1/8" photo jack. I'm not positive that's original. It might be. I'm not sure. Maybe Jeff can put a comment on this video and tell us whether that's original or something that was added on. He says the reception is good on medium wave. Of course, he wasn't able to receive on anything on long wave. I can relate to that. All my time I spent trying to receive a long wave signal. I have received beacons, but as far as a long wave station like the ones in Europe, nada. Can't get them. The other thing that I was a little worried about is it's battery operated. It takes 6 C-cell batteries, and he took them out before he gave me the radio. which is a good idea. You don't want to leave batteries in a radio if you're not going to use it for a long time. So he took those out, put them in a plastic bag. First thing this morning, I put them in. I wasn't sure of the controls, but I assumed one of these was the on-off and one was the band selection. Switched both of those back and forth, nothing. And I thought, well, maybe the batteries that were in here were ready to go bad and they finally went bad. Nope. I checked the batteries and the batteries are like brand new. So that wasn't a problem. So then, let me see if I got this on. Okay, let me turn this off.
Man, is it going to catch Titanic?
Nope, I can't get my big thumb down there. There we go. So I put the batteries back in the battery compartment or case, which I'm going to show you right now. Now there is one fault here in that the button here for this snap is missing. This one still works good. And then this opens up and you get to see everything in the back here. And this monster here is the battery case for the 6 batteries. And so he had taken the batteries out. So I opened that up. It has a diagram on the outside to show you the orientation of the batteries, the correct orientation of the batteries. I followed that diagram, put them in, put this back in the radio, turned it over, nada. Oh man, I was panicking. That is my biggest fear, is that I will break one of Jeff's radios. So I thought, well, maybe the batteries are dead. So I checked the batteries, as I said before, and they were all good. I then checked the terminals inside of this case. There was rust in there. So I cleaned those all off as best I could. I put them back, batteries back in. I put the cap back on, and it came off. And then so I went to close the cover and it went off again. So now I recall that Jeff told me that this battery case is a little temperamental. So I fiddled around a little bit and now I've got a good connection and it's working fine. This thing is heavy. Oh my gosh. It probably weighs, I'm guessing, over 5 pounds. So this is heavy. And one of the reasons being is that the electronic chassis is heavy, heavy metal. That's how they used to make them in the days. Got some big components like this big transformer here, a big shield plate up here between the antenna and the rest of the radio. Again, I do not see any connections going up to that rotary thing on the top. So I don't think that's a long wave antenna. I think that's just an indication of direction. All right. What else? The chassis itself has been cleaned. Let me show you that. It's pretty shiny, nice and clean. And there's a circuit diagram here of the, not a circuit diagram. It's a diagram of the major components. I doubt if you can see that. There it is. Zenith, and it says RYL, standing for Royale 780Y. No date on there. And then here's a little piece of foam to keep this secure. I believe, yeah, that's probably a new piece of foam because those tend to dry out and start flaking. So probably when he had it cleaned up, they probably replaced that foam. Handle is in perfect shape. No tears or rips or falling apart. There's a little bit of pitting on the chrome here. Nothing bad. And like I say, it tunes. Let me turn it back on. Here's my other hand.
More from Andrew Keshner, personal finance reporter at Market
Tunes
Watch.
real smooth.
Who is the adult?
and picks up a lot of stations.
Right. If you're one of those people that don't like to do online, you can call them at 888-206-2764. 888-206-2764.
I can't turn that with my
I beg you to do this. You will change.
right hand because I have a bum thumb. When I was a kid, I sliced off my thumb and I put it back on, but of course I lost some of the muscles and tendons, so it's not totally functional. I'm a mess. I'm just falling apart. I think that's about it. Again, he polished up these little knobs here that hold the handle on. So I want to thank Jeff for loaning me these radios to review on my show. And this is the second one of this batch of 12. So I still got 10 radios to review from him. At least two of them have the shortwave band. So I'll be checking those out. And that's about it. If you have any questions, please leave them in a comment. I'm sure if I can't answer them, Jeff will chime in. He's a big supporter of my channel. And that's about it. Now, that's the quick review of this radio from Jeff. I got to remember to take the batteries out before I put this back. Oh, now I'm going to show you this. And I'm just going to briefly tell you what's going on here. This is something that I made, and this is my first attempt at this particular design. This is balsa wood. Pretty thin. I think it's either 3 or 5 millimeters. Our local library, a couple of years ago, or probably 5, 6 years ago, the city of Clearwater, or maybe it's the county of Pinellas, I don't remember which, added 1 penny tax to upgrade the library system. And so I was kind of disappointed initially because they didn't add any new books. But what they've had added recently, over the past, I think 2 years they've been setting it up, is some studios for people to come in and use their equipment. One studio is for copying 35 millimeter negatives, 8 millimeter VHF tapes, photographs to a digital format, which you can then take home and put on your computer or put it anywhere. Another lab is called the Creative Lab, is where you can do crafts such as sewing, painting, and laser cutting and etching. So this is done by laser etching. So many shows ago, one of my subscribers made a logo for me. That's this logo right here. And I've used it on my show a couple of times. Well, I thought, what the heck? Let me see if I can burn that or etch that into a piece of material. And I thought, well, wood's the easiest thing to try. So with the assistance of the person at the library, I told you this would be pretty crude, this part. We got this made. First try. Could have been a little darker. Using the laser is kind of an art because there's lots of variables such as the speed that the laser runs, the amount of power it outputs, and then how many passes you make. I think this was 2 passes. And I think we could have turned the power on the laser up a tiny bit more. You have to be a little careful. Turn it up too high and the wood burns instead of being etched, and it all kind of runs together. So that came out pretty good. So what they have a 40-watt laser etcher cutter. It's a huge machine. It's as big as half the size of a regular desk. And I think it cost about $4,000. And you can sign up for time on that laser and use their laser. So I've been doing it. I've made many other things besides this. Little plaques to put on your refrigerator, um, little things to put on your keychain, okay, all kinds of little things. I've experimented recently with glass and ceramic tile. Worked okay, but it wasn't perfect. Again, I didn't have the proper settings, so I've just got to learn what the proper settings are. So that's my new hobby. Again, this is totally free, so if you happen to live in Pinellas County, where I live, you can go sign up for time on this equipment, including the photographic materials that I talked about earlier. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Jeff, for loaning me these radios, and all of you have a great day. Bye-bye.